We have the Reverend Bernd Stanfield here from the Fourth Presbyterian Church in South Boston and Reverend Willie Broderick II from 12th Baptist Street Church. And that is, of course, where Martin Luther King Jr. attended during his time in Boston. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for being with us. It's kind of perfect on a Sunday morning to kind of have the good word, so to speak, from the two of you. Some of your thoughts in terms of the resolutions and commitments being made here at the convention, how that could translate back into the Black community locally and nationally.
Yeah, well, I think we're in a very difficult moment right now. There's so many things happening nationally from a political lens, from a social lens, and the fact that the NAACP is here very much so focused on how we can actually enact justice, which is a part of its legacy, and it's a part of the legacy of this city, to be honest with you. I bless this pastor, 12th Baptist Church, which has been on the forefront, known as the Fugitive Slave Church, and many of folks who have been working tirelessly to make sure that we enact that in our city. And so I'm thankful that the NAACP has been focused on issues of housing, on issues of economic justice, closing wealth gaps, really thinking critically about what's happening. We got to think about what's happening in the Supreme Court affirmative action. We got to think about voting rights. There's so many things that are on the docket right now that the NAACP has been committed to, and I think that can translate real time into our city. And so we're hoping and we're excited actually about the convention being here, and very much so excited about how that translates to the work of making sure that we create more advocacy, actually push on some of the issues that are affecting us here at home, particularly in relation to housing as well as violence, and making sure that we provide resources for our community.
Your congregation in South Boston, I don't know how the touch tones are there in terms of them understanding what the NAACP means and how you bring that back home to that neighborhood.
Well, each one of us, right, we take it into our neighborhoods, our cities, our states, and so our church, Fourth Presbyterian in South Boston, works a lot with Greater Boston Interfaith Organization. And we're engaging healthcare issues, mental health care issues, housing issues. Just had 1,400 people from our congregation and 60 other congregations gathered in a Temple Israel synagogue a month ago to engage the mayor, the governor, other folks, because it's absolutely high on our priority list.
I think it's very important that it's not just people of color coming together to go over these issues. Speak to that a little bit.
Well, within South Boston, of course, we've had quite a journey. We're coming up to the 50th anniversary of the desegregation. And our association of nonprofits there have already been engaged in conversations. The anniversary is a big deal. That was a scar on the whole city, and certainly within our neighborhood. So we have another year of conversations around the anniversary. So that work goes on, as well as the advocacy, because the issues are real right now with housing, with healthcare, with the wealth gap. So we engage now and keep going.
Biggest message that you take away from the conference being here?
Let's get the vote out.
Yes.
NAACP has done a great job in advocating the voter turnout. I hope that continues, and also continuing. I'm wanting to see more addressing of the economic gap.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that we can write a new story. We're in the midst of a difficult moment. We're struggling right now to figure out what is the pathway forward as a nation, as a country, as a city. We can write a new story, and really this is a part of that. Telling new stories about this city, telling new stories about our country, fighting back against the erasure of our history, fighting back against those who are trying to take us back to a time that was not and that should not be again. We think that we can move this forward. This is a campaign about thriving together, and I think that's what the NAACP is about. That's what the city of Boston should be about. That's what the country should be about.
That's right.
It's Sunday morning, so I can say amen to that.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. We'll all say amen. Thank you so much, Reverend Stanfield, Reverend Broderick. A pleasure to have you here. Your message very heartfelt and well received, I hope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.